Hey guys, I was just at the grocery store and uh, waited in line like everybody else, respectfully. And this guy came from the door while five of us or six of us waiting in line for our turn to pay for our product, whatever we bought. And this guy came just from the door straight to the front of the line, and he wanted to do his business, like nothing happens. And uh, and I just lost it on him because, okay, first of all, I talked to him respectfully and I said to him, sir, the line is over here, you know and he has the audacity to tell me why. Could you believe that? So I have one thing to pay. And I'm like, no, you have to ask permission for everybody in the line. You can't just go straight to the front of the line and basically is rude, you know? And he's still telling me why. Why? I'm telling you, man, the line is over here. And he still doesn't want to go to the back of the end of the line. He wanted to still do his business. And so I started losing it on him. And I just told him, you're not gonna do this. You need to go the end of the line. You're not gonna stand in front of me because I was the first in line, and I'm not gonna let you coming from the door straight to the front of the line. But in the line is rude. You have to ask everybody on the line. If we agree, then fine. But I don't give that kind of respect for someone who's a lot younger than me. He's in his 20s. And if he's elderly, like grandpa, grandma, yes, I would let them butt in the line, right? But someone who's in his 20s have no respect for rules or all of that. And he had an accent. I don't know. He's like, these are Polish, Hungarian, Romanian, Albanian, something like that, something in that line. And then when I started raising my voice, he telling me not to shout at him. He told me not to shout at him. Yes, I spoke to you with respect. I told you the line is over here. You're telling me why. And you're still standing over there in front of the line. And you want to butt in front of me, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. So I'm raising my voice because I told you to go to the end of the line, and you refuse. You want to stand over there? You're not gonna conduct any business, because we're all waiting in line, and so you have no right to do that. And he's telling me, no, don't shout at me, don't shout. And I'm shouting at you because I told you 4 or 3 times the line is over here, and you're telling me why. You're challenging me. Is something it's all your fault for me to raise my voice at you because you're not respecting, the rules. I understand you're not from here, you're not from UK, whatever. I understand that. But when somebody's telling you, guiding you to make the right decision, do not challenge them and say why. Do not say why. You know, you would not do that at the airport, at customs. You not go, to customs and telling them why, because you're not going to be let into the country, But you do it to just regular bystander people like me or others of the 5 other people waiting in line, waiting for their turn, respectfully, and you are refusing to accept rule of law, right? Because what happened in Hungary, Romania, whatever your country, doesn't apply here. You have to assimilate to the culture. You have to go by the rules of the country. You cannot just go in and enforce your own belief and rules. And we're dealing with this in Canada now. In Canada, we're dealing with a lot of this BS. You come to UK, it's the same BS happening. You know what? Good for UK leaving the European Union. Because all of this BS. But anyhow, it could be from he could be from somewhere else. I'm annoyed. Honestly, guys, I'm annoyed right now. Maybe my anger is misguided now because I'm angry like at this person. But and I kept emphasizing, telling you the line over here. You're still standing in the front. You're refusing to go to the end of the line. You want to go in front of me. You're not going to do that. You know, anybody else can let you do that. But even if the person behind me let you, they should give their spot to the person behind them. You understand? If you're gonna let somebody butt in front of you, other people do not agree, you say, okay, I stand behind the person behind me, right? Because you gave up your spot, right? To let somebody else go in front of you, right? If you let in a senior or somebody elderly, yes, I have no problem with that. I would have let him go in front of me, right? But guy is in his 20s. I'm like 49, right? You know, he's into his 20s and he still have no respect. And he's still trying to challenge me, telling me why. You know, this is why. And he went back at the end of the line, he's still talking, telling people, why is he shouting at me? Why is he I'm shouting at you because I told you 4 or 5 times to go back at the end of the line and you're telling me why. Do not challenge me telling me why when you are wrong. You are clearly in the wrong, okay? And that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem with culture who refuses to assimilate to a new culture. They want to just bring their baggage with them, you know? That's happening in Canada, it's happening in UK. It's a lot of BS, you know? But anyhow, that's my rant of the day.